Greetings from the heart of tea country. I'm here to show you how to brew Gong Fu style tea today, and I decided to come here to the Lugu Farmers Association and have a few of my friends as guests to make it a more real experience for you. So, here we are. Here's the arrangement that you use for Gong Fu tea. This is the tea art classroom. So it's a little bit more formal than you might be doing in your home, but this is the general setup for Gong Fu tea. So the first step in making tea is to put your leaves in your teapot. Depending on your equipment and how used to it you are, you can measure the tea by visual assessment. And if you do so, you want about 1/6 capacity of the pot. You put a lot of tea in a small pot. Why do you do that? So that you can brew the tea in short intervals and get the essence of the tea as the tea leaves brew. After putting the tea leaves in the teapot, you want to do a rinse. So you put the water, pour water in, you pour it straight out of the teapot into the tea pitcher. Basically, you're going to rinse all of the utensils that you use before drinking tea. I like to fill up my teapot first and then go through the rinse process. But the most important thing is to remain aware of the time that you brew the tea, because the amount of tea leaves that you put in and the amount of time that you brew the tea leaves is the most essential part in getting the premium cup of tea that you want. Since we have 3 guests, in addition to all the teaware that you see on the table, you need a vessel to put the rinsed water and eventually the leaves that you brew and take out of the teapot. So from these whiffer cups, you pour the water into the drinking cups. It's going to be one there. And then from the drinking cups, you can just remove that water from the drinking cups into your container. All this formality makes it a little bit anxious. At home, the second most important part of making Gong Fu tea is to enjoy your company and make it a social ritual. That's something that Taiwan is unique for, in my experience, and really a big part of the fun that's involved in brewing some of the best tea in the world. So, we have our first brew of tea. Basically, as a formula, if you're filling the pot to 1/5 or 1/6 capacity with dried leaves, you're going to start with a brewing time of about 50 seconds, less than a minute. And then for each successive brew, you're going to increase the time by about 10 to 20 seconds per brew. From here, you place the whiffer cup on the individual tea drinking trays for your guests to take and enjoy. From the whiffer cup, you're going to pour the tea into the drinking cup, and this is for the aroma, the assessment of the aroma. Remember, you have water in the pot. I like to do it as informally as possible with no watch and just use my intuition and experienced judgment about the brewing time. If you want to, in the beginning, you can use a clock and watch the time so that you can get the right brew that you're looking for. As you can see, some pitchers and some teapots are fitting to place the teapot on the pitcher. That's a little less formal. We're going to do one more pot, and then you can brew, especially Lugu Dongding style oolong tea. You can brew for up to 10 pots of tea. Depending on the quality of the tea and how much tea leaves you use and how much brewing time you allow for each brew. I find that the second brew of tea is the most fragrant and the most flavorful. Second or third pot of tea is the cream of the crop. It's where you get the full flavor of the tea. Well, Gong Fu tea brewing method, as I said, the primary purpose of it is to get the premium pot of tea from your tea leaves. You're getting the optimal brew by using this small pot with a lot of tea leaves in it. Maybe if you're measuring the tea leaves by weight, a 150 milliliter pot, say, this looks a little bit bigger, but if it were 150 milliliters, I would use 10 grams of dried tea leaves. That's just the standard, and you can adjust that as you like, as you learn how the tea brews in this way. So you're using a lot of tea leaves in a small container, brewing it for a short amount of time, and getting several brews so that the leaves open up and you can experience the flavor as it gets released from the tea leaves. That's the more scientific methodology of this Gong Fu tea brewing method. And secondarily, as I said, the second or equally most important part of this tea ceremony, so to speak, is to sit down and take time out to just experience tea in the presence of your friends and or family. That's the cultural richness that can come about by using this sophisticated tea brewing method. And it's, as magic has its own place in our lives, the quality of the tea, I think, is paralleled by the quality of your company, as well as your state of mind in bringing your intent and your compassion and your well-being to the tea table. So there it is, Gong Fu tea from Oolong Tea Country. I hope this helps, and please contact us with any further questions or comments you have. Thank you very much. Have a